Hey, welcome to the channel. My name is Eric. Today we're going to be talking deck repair. This one here happens to be a 54-inch deck, and I don't know if you can see it, but each one of these are different. You want to know why? Stay tuned. Alright, so this is one of our customers that we didn't see him last year, and for whatever reason he decided to do it yourself, right? But he had an issue with this spindle that it broke, so he bought one and he put it on. Now I don't know if you can see the difference, but this one here is only like 1 inch tall, and these here are closer to 2. So his center blade was actually cutting with a higher cut than these two. These, I mean, it wasn't hitting the ground because it was a smaller one, so it kept the blade closer to the deck. So he brought it to me this year and he said, "Can you do anything with it?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to get you a brand new deck by the time I get done, basically." I said, "I'm going to order the right spindles," and I went online, and when I can buy the right spindles by the 3-pack, cheaper than I can from the aftermarket companies, I'm going to do it. I don't blame you for doing it either. But I bought 3 to replace all 3. Now, they do come with their own bolts with them. A lot of times what we do is, when we buy it through an aftermarket, we end up having to tap them to the right side, because if you don't, they never go in right and just have problems because they're not tight enough. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take the 4 bolts out that hold each spindle, and I like doing it one at a time. Okay, so I'm going to take the 4 out of here and then put this on and then go to my next one. But on these, you'll notice there's a hole right here. There's a grease fitting down here already there. They should cover that whole area. Well, that actually I think is just a vent. So don't do that. You got a grease fitting right here, so you're all set. But the only way you're going to see it is if you come underneath the deck on it. You know what I mean? Because this part from here up is going to be underneath the deck. So your grease fittings are going to be exposed to the dirt and grass and everything else. So let's get started. Question: do you put PV Blaster on these to get them out? No. Most often they're oxidized in there with the aluminum, and to be honest with you, most times I'll turn it to tighten it just to snap the bolts off, you know, versus sticking around with it. No, 1/2 inch. And I'll tell you, if you want to keep a mower for a long time, every 6 to 8 years, you know, if you went right through, and you should be taking your deck off every fall. And you can get rid of all this rust and everything by making sure it's nice and clean, and then spraying it all down, and anything is exposed, get it cleaned up so that the rust, you put some of the, you know, Walmart paint, spray paint, just to seal it up so they can't keep oxidizing. Alright, so let's see how this is going to go with using this. We may have to use the air. See, I'm just taking and tightening them. The only pain in the ass is they sometimes will get stuck. Now I'll show you going backwards on it. See, even going backwards on it, it sheared it. So, I mean, it's one way or the other, doesn't make any difference. It's still going to have the same result. Well, that's like bit a little. That one has to come out. Just watch out because she's warm. Alright, so I got the first one out. So now what I'm going to want to do is take this, take the bolts out. The only thing I don't like is it didn't come with the nuts that hold on the blade, but I've got a ton of them over here. Just take your time with it. You know, if you get in a rush, you end up making mistakes, or worse yet, getting hurt. And this is more for you do-it-yourselfers at home that want to do it. You know, if you go back through my videos, you'll find one of how to do a parts lookup. And that's just simply getting the model number off the machine and using Google. Google's your best friend. And put in that model number and then put parts diagrams. And there's so many different ones out there. Jack Small Engines. Doesn't mean you got to buy from them. Just use their parts lookup. This guy looks like he just decided, it said Cub Cadet on it, and he decided to use it. And he mentioned he thought it was this roller that was causing it not to cut the same height. So, come in from underneath. The key is you want to get them all started before you start tightening anything. There we go. You notice I'm not tightening them, I'm just bringing them up. If you're using one of these, don't get onto them too hard. Just get them snugged up. Because they will snap off inside, and it's a pain in the backside. Alright, we've got the first one done. And then before I flip this deck over, what I will do is we're going to take this one out and this one out, and then I'll go and I'll grease these, and then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put the brand new blades that I got for them on before I flip it. So let me come over. But you can do this with an air impact. I just happen to have the 20 volt DeWalt I like. So see, I was loosening and it sheared it right off. My blade or my battery's getting low. And my other batteries are down below, so let's go to plan B. This is plan B. What is a 1/2 inch set? It's 12 points. Don't be afraid to drive them on. If you don't, you're not going to get them off. Alright, so we're going to repeat the process. Let's pick this up like this for now. Now putting these in, I don't use the air impact because I don't want to twist them off. I'll to get my DeWalt back out. Now, if you've got just a noisy bearing going bad and everything else is good, the worst thing you could do is try to take it out with the bolts. The way to do it is come from the top side. Take the bolt off. Like this. Take that off. Take this off. And then that'll drive right down through. And then you can just replace the upper and lower bearing instead of replacing the whole thing. But if you try taking these out and you snap them off, it's a pain in the ass to try to do anything with them. That's why I recommend just go ahead and just replace the whole thing. Here's another thing I want to show you. What's wrong with this picture? Even in different size pulleys. So we got two, we still got that one to grind out. So I'll finish that quick. Now I'm going to be kind of a hypocrite here. I'll do as I say and not as I do. Yes, I'm not wearing the protective gear I should be for the grinder. and I would prefer that you would. You know, it's because all it takes is just a millisecond and you're going to get hurt. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm not saying that I still can't get hurt, but alright, so we got all the spindles on. Now what you're going to want to do is you got a thin layer, protects the threads. They put tape on it, which is good. You want to make sure you get it all off so that it doesn't cause your bolt to come tight before it bottoms out. Alright, so I'm gonna go grab a grease gun. Now I know on the aftermarket ones, a lot of them come pre-greased. I was brought up the old farmer's way of an ounce of prevention, getting them greased up is cheap compared to breakdowns and having to buy new parts. Alright. Now, if you've watched my videos on the correct way to put a blade in, you want to have it so that the fins are facing towards the top. Alright, so I'm going to end it right there. That's the best way to do it if you're going to do spindles. And before a Cub Cadet spindle is not a Cub Cadet spindle. There's Cub Cadet mix, so many different types and sizes. And the pulleys are different on top. So make sure you do a correct parts lookup. Take your model number, go to Google, and put in the model number, parts diagrams, and then bring up the deck diagram and find the part numbers that you need for your particular application. Now with this here, I don't have the extra bolts for the cubbies. I don't normally stock them. And he's going to need 3 because the 3 that come off it were pretty much destroyed. What we have left to do is I'm going to do a parts lookup and find the bolt or the nuts. Find this wheel. That one should be alright. These should be alright. And then I've got a brand new belt for the top side. And then throw it back on his machine and he's off going again. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. And like I say, take your time, don't get in a big hurry. Before I let this go, I'm going to get this little cleaner here, kind of get some of this rust out. And what I like to use is fluid film on a deck like this. A lot of your decks coming through now have got the washer where you can hook the water hose to it. And they do work. It'll clean it all right out. It'll wash it right out. And I encourage that. But for these older ones and the bigger commercial ones, they don't have that. So you need to keep your deck clean. And then every fall when you take it off, get it cleaned right up. And then, you know, touch it with the cheap $1.99 Walmart spray paint, black, whatever color. And then let it dry and then put fluid film on it before the next season. Doesn't hurt to add an application a couple times during the year. It's made mostly for snowblowers, but it works great on lawnmowers too. So thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.